So good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to today's off-page SEO masterclass. In today's session, we'll be looking at the topics of cleaning up and fixing broken links, followed by stealing and replicating competitors' broken links. Finally, we'll be covering turning PR brand mentions into links as well. We will then round the session off with a Q&A session at the end. So if there's anything that you would like to ask, then please use the questions box in the panel on the right-hand side of your screen, and then we'll do our best to cover those for you. So before we begin, then a quick introduction to today's speakers. My name is Simon Lachlan. I'm the Business Development Manager at Receptional. I have over 17 years of experience working in consultative business development and account management roles, and I've worked with clients in both the public and private sectors across the UK and Ireland. Some of the industries that I've worked with range from finance, retail, e-commerce, professional services, and many more. We're also hearing from Dave Clough, who is our Head of Content Strategy at Receptional. Dave has over 10 years of experience working in SEO. He's previously been an SEO manager at Argos, achieving #1 rankings for Black Friday deals, and he's worked across numerous sectors, inclusive of finance, retail, technology, hospitality, and more. His work has earned him a double award win at the Digital Experience Awards, and he's also been a guest speaker at the Content Marketing Association, the Financial Services Forum, the Financial Times, as well as speaking at Google's head office. So over the last 20 years, Receptional has successfully worked with some of the UK's best known brands with their various digital marketing activities. There's a few examples there for you just on the screen. So last year, Receptional conducted a search landscape analysis based on the finance industry. We wanted to understand which brands have the best and worst SEO performance, and more importantly, why. To our surprise, we discovered that many of the top brands in finance were either neglecting SEO or quite simply just getting it wrong. This highlighted a huge opportunity for more search-conscious brands to outplay the big names in the industry using some on-page SEO techniques. As a result of these insights, we have produced a series of practical SEO masterclasses. In the previous webinar, we've talked about on-page SEO, which is the process of optimizing the site and online content for both search engines and its users. It's essentially what we are saying about ourselves. If this is something that you would like to learn more about, then please check out our previous webinar. We can send you a link of the recording. So both on and off-page SEO are as equally important for achieving a great SEO strategy. However, today we are focusing on the off-page, which refers to link building, digital PR, or in other words, what other people are saying about you. For anyone attending today who is maybe not so familiar with what link building is or why it's important, well, websites are connected by hyperlinks. It's like a spider's web, which is why the internet is referred to as the World Wide Web. Google's algorithms look at all the links to see which websites get linked to the most frequently. At a very basic level, the more links you have, then the higher your website will appear in the search engine results. Therefore, the key to beating your competition is to generate more high quality links than what they have. When it comes to best practices, content marketing is generally considered the ultimate link building strategy. Creating good content pays off. The best links are editorial votes given by choice, and the more useful content you have, the greater the chances someone else will find that content valuable for their readers and then link to it. I do apologise. Yeah, the PowerPoint's crashed. Perfect timing.
Okay. Can you confirm what you're seeing?
Yep, got the slides in presentation mode.
And with no other icons or anything else appearing around it, just as it should be.
Just our ugly mugs at the top of the screen, Dave, that's it.
Brilliant.
Brilliant,
So
thank you. Yeah, if you can just pop onto the next slide then, please. I'm onto the content-based link building issues. There we go. So sorry about that again, everyone. Do apologise for that. So if you have ever tried link building in a difficult niche, such as finance, then you'll know that it can prove tricky to build links effectively with a content-based approach. You'll probably find you face several issues. One is red tape and compliance. The sector might have a strict compliance codes limiting any creative options. Some sectors have to be so careful not to break any laws or to be seen as giving out advice. There's also dry subject matters, so where some subjects are too boring, making it too difficult to attract links. And of course, if you are working with a third party, it might not be practical to outsource content writing, as the sector might have a steep learning curve. So marketers are often not finance, legal, or health experts, so any content produced might not be adequate enough to promote. Many businesses in challenging sectors require agencies to adhere to vigorous approval processes. Therefore, it's just not practical to work at scale. And finally, some sectors are so niche that there's a limited number of opportunities to even promote the services via third-party websites. So a combination of these factors makes it impossible to build links at the scale required to beat the competition. However, don't fret if your back is against the wall. When it comes to link building, there are still many ways you can build SEO authority, improve rankings, and earn more traffic, which is what Dave is going to talk to you about today. So over to you, Dave.
Brilliant. Thank you, Simon. So when we're building links, you have to consider both quantity as well as quality in order to ensure that you're building the right kind of links and not just links for the sake of it. At Receptional, we look at links across 4 bands of quality: lower, standard, premium, and super tier. And we base those tiers on authority scores from SEMrush. When we use these quality bands to perform a link building needs assessment for our clients, we do that in order to make sure we build the right number of links at the right standard and not just links for links' sake. We don't build lower quality links by default. However, it's really important that we analyze our clients' low quality links, as they could actually be causing us a problem. For those of you who aren't aware, there's a part of Google's algorithm that deals specifically with spam. It's designed to penalize websites that use low quality websites to farm backlinks. This means low quality websites, also websites that have low quality links, could actually be harmed by those links, could be dragging you back in the search results. And to illustrate that point, we're going to look at a handful of car insurance websites. Here we can see the total number of linking domains pointing to these 3 specialist car insurance websites. We can see that these sites have between 800 and nearly 1,400 links. However, not all of these are going to be good links. Some of them might actually be pretty bad. In fact, we can see here that a significant number of the links here are of a lower quality. Now, it's not uncommon to see around 50% of links pointing to websites coming from lower quality sites, so don't be alarmed by these numbers. Not all of those links are going to be bad per se, but it's possible that some will be hampering progress and basically acting like an anchor holding these sites back. There's a range of lower quality link types, and whilst they're not all harmful, here's a handful that you want to pay close attention to. They could be link networks. That's a hallmark of mass link building, and it's identifiable by websites that use the same IP addresses. They could be stolen content, websites that just steal content from other websites to grow quickly. Could be automated spam, websites that are basically automatically generated and have very little human input. It could be completely irrelevant links from sites that are completely outside of your niche, and that would look suspicious because they're so irrelevant. Or it could be adult sites, and those types of sites tend to be pretty easy to identify when looking at a backlink analysis. All of these examples have the potential to do more harm than good, so often it's best just to get rid. There are tools out there that can help you analyze and categorize the links into toxic and non-toxic. Our favorite is SEMrush, which has a potentially toxic category that you can then manually review. Here we can see the toxicity score before and after we cleaned up the backlink profile of a client of ours. Now, this particular client is a high street luxury brand, so we were surprised to see how much spam they'd attracted over the years. Once we've conducted our analysis and isolated our bad links, we need to tell Google to discard these links, and this is done via the disavow tool. You just have to create a disavow file and upload it. However, it might take a few weeks for this to take effect if you have a penalty. There are tutorials online that tell you how to build disavow files. However, if you're uncertain, do get expert support, as you can actually do more harm than good if you get this process wrong. Cool. Solution 2, fixing your broken links. And we're going to introduce this section with a question. So how often does your website get updated? Do you often see the URLs changing? Do you remove old content? If you've been working on a website for a period of time, the chances are yes, you've seen it evolve over time, and that will often impact the URL structure of the site, and links can get removed and pages get removed as a result. But this actually offers a great link building opportunity. We can easily find those broken links and repair them and regain their lost SEO value. I'm going to explain to you exactly how to do this. The best tools for the job include SEMrush, Ahrefs, and Majestic SEO. Majestic generally has the biggest and best historic database for this task. However, combining the data from all three sources is the best way to make sure that you find everything and repair everything. These tools have a page report which highlights the pages that have the highest number of links, and those can be filtered by those that now resolve on a 404 error, i.e. the page is being removed. Here we can see that Argos have a number of broken links, and these are older products that have been discontinued and removed from the catalogue. As a result, they're potentially losing the value of thousands of links. Now that you've obtained a list of broken pages, you need to be thinking about repairing those links. And the most common way to do this is to redirect the user from the broken page to the nearest live equivalent. For example, if the broken page was an old vintage lawnmower and that product has been removed, then it would be okay just to redirect the user to the lawnmowers category page on the website. Now, if you can't find a nearest equivalent, often linking back to the home page is an adequate solution, as you'll still get lots of value from that. And these redirects must be 301 permanent redirects in order to transfer SEO value. Solution 3. Following on from this idea, you can actually apply a similar logic to your competitors' websites and actually steal their broken links as well. So broken link building is a tactic whereby you find broken links between two websites. You then recreate the dead content and then tell anybody who's linking to that broken page to link to the recreated content instead. It works because nobody wants to have broken links on their website, as they contribute towards a low, poor user experience. So when you tell people about broken links on their website, they're usually happy to replace these with working ones because you're doing them a favor, or at least that's the idea. So we're going to look at an example of how this process works in action. So we do quite a lot of work in the finance space, as Simon mentioned earlier, and in particular wealth management. And there's loads of blogs out there about investing. In this example, we're going to look at the Motley Fool website, fool.co.uk. So the best way to find broken link building opportunities is with Ahrefs broken link checker. Here's the process. You go to the Site Explorer tool, and then you click on the pages report seen in the bottom left-hand corner. You can then, underneath that category, there's a best by links option, and that will give you the pages in order of the highest to lowest by number of links. And then simply filter it by 404s, which is found in the upper mid region of that slide. So here I spotted an article about Bitcoin that was broken, and it has 34 links. So we could simply recreate that article and contact the 34 domains, asking them to link to our article instead. I was able to find the old article using the Wayback Machine, which, for those who don't know, is a massive archive of the internet, and it's particularly useful for finding removed content. Here we can see that the Bitcoin article was a simple what is piece of content, nothing too technical and easy enough to replicate, and still relevant today. Once replicated and published, all we had to do was contact the sites that linked to the old version, the old broken page, And the conversation would typically go, dear website, we notice that you've linked to an article which has been removed. Please link to our resource instead. To which they'll usually say, sure, thanks for letting us know. And it can often be as simple as that. So I know what you're thinking. I said this webinar was not about, was about how to build links without content. Now, this method only requires us to create a blog that's hosted on the client's website. There's no further outreach copy required. Therefore, this method actually does overcome most of the common issues associated with content-based link building. So I'll do a quick recap on exactly why. For red tape and compliance, you only need to get one piece of content signed off, not the 10 or so a month typically required for outreach. As for dry subject matters, well, if people are linking to the broken page, then it's really not that dry. It's clearly interest in the topic. In terms of third-party expertise, this isn't such an issue as you're only creating one single client-hosted piece of content. And usually our clients are happy to reproduce the article themselves as they are the experts. The content approval process isn't such an issue either. Again, this is just one piece of content and usually the client are happy to write it. And finally, in terms of limited opportunities, the data behind this process actually allows you to find the opportunities that have the highest linking potential. Therefore, it's actually a very scalable solution. Solution number 4. So once we've dealt with competitors' broken links, we can then go about trying to obtain their existing links as well. After all, your competitors may have done a lot of the hard work for you, and if you can't beat them, you can at least join them. You may be wondering, how are competitors getting links and leaving you behind? Where are they all coming from? Look at who's ranking in your industry. Look at the keywords, who are ranking for the keywords that you want to rank for. What kind of links do they have that you can build to? So you don't have to guess. Industry tools such as SEMrush and Majestic SEO can actually be used to find the websites that link to your peers, but not you. From this data, you'll learn what types of sites are linking to other sites in your niche and why are they linking to your competitors? What's the strategy or the context of those links? Now, some of those links might require content, but you can use this analysis to understand exactly how your competitors have overcome some of the issues that you might be facing with a content-based approach. However, there will also be plenty of sites that don't require content. Now, editorial links might be the gold standard for link builders, but they're not the only valuable links. Industry-specific directories are useful because they're highly relevant to your industry, and there's usually plenty of them to obtain, which is great if you're working on a low budget. And a strong brand presence on local directory websites will benefit your local SEO and help you perform in your local area. You can use competitor link analysis data to discover any of these directories that might not currently be listing you. Now, if you can forgive the cliche, the crucial thing to remember is that if a site is linking to a competitor, then logically it will probably link to you too. Basing your approach on competitor links actually increases your chance of success. You will waste less time trying to find sites that are willing to link and go straight for high converting opportunities. And our fifth and final solution is working with PR teams and turning brand mentions into links. Many of your best linking opportunities will probably come off the back of company news coverage of PR activity. So if your company have a PR team and they're busy getting the brand out there, then they're going to be driving loads of brand mentions. Now, SEOs would love these to be linked, but asking for links isn't typically a part of the PR process, although PRs are getting better at asking for links. For now, the chances are that there'll be loads of what we call unlinked brand mentions, and we can turn those into hyperlinks. We can see here that the Designers Guild have been featured on the Evening Standard, and that's an unlinked brand mention. We can potentially talk to the Evening Standard and have them turn that mention into a link to their homepage or even to their range that they're talking about. So how do we as SEOs go about finding unlinked brand mentions and leveraging them? There are numerous tools for the job, but we typically use SEMrush as they have a very simple brand monitoring tool. We then report this data back to the client using Data Studio and suggest ways of turning those mentions into links. Here's a quick overview of taking brand mentions and turning them into something more practical and actionable. First, export the list of sites that mention the brand and clean up that list by removing any low quality sites and general rubbish. Then request that the PR team review the list and claim the opportunities that they have relationships with when they know the publications. Where they don't have existing and established relationships, the PR team often actually want to build bridges with some sites that are talking about their brand, so they should claim those opportunities too. And then whatever's left, the link building team can typically take on and see if they can mop up any additional links. Finally, you can stay on top of your backlink hygiene with Receptional's Link Monitor tool. We built this tool as an efficient solution for contentless link building and building authority in challenging niches. We devised a report that pulls together the link data from multiple sources and makes prioritizing all these tasks much more manageable and actionable. The report covers technical link building components, including key link metrics. So it will track your core link building metrics over time, comparing them against 2 or 3 competitors. In terms of optimized earned links, we'll check what new natural links have been built and provide recommendations as needed, i.e. if the links point to unoptimized content. We'll report on any lost links, so if a blogger removes a link, we'll be the first to know. And we also claim any unlinked brand mentions, as I just went through. We'll produce a list of brand mentions and work with the PR team to leverage those. This service is perfect for building links in tricky niches and perfect for working collaboratively with brand and PR teams. Cool, so just a recap on the solutions there. That was quite a lot of information, but first we looked at how to clean up existing links. So the best place to start when doing a link building campaign is tidying up what you've got. As a part of that process, fixing any 404s that you might have in order to reclaim the SEO value from those, and then stealing any competitors' links. Any broken links using content, reproduce that content, and then get the third-party sites to link to you instead. Conduct a BLA to find what strategy your competitors are using to build links and see if there's any low-hanging fruit. And then finally, collaborate with the PR team to turn those lovely brand mentions into links to your homepage. Now, all of this came from the back of an ebook that we are going to be publishing perhaps in the next few weeks, and I'm sure that Simon will send out a copy to everybody who's attended today. The ebook goes into more detail and offers a few more additional tips as well. Cool, so I think it's question time.
Cool, thank you very much, Dave. I hope that everybody found some of those tips useful, so they've got something to take away from the session today. As Dave mentioned, yes, we'll be sending out a copy of the upcoming ebook as soon as it's available to everybody who's attended today. And then following that, we will also be sending out a quick survey about today's session. So we'll be most grateful if you can just spend 30 seconds to fill it out. As always, we're keen to hear your feedback, what you thought of the session today. And then we're also keen to hear about any topics that you'd like us to cover in the future that will be useful for you. So with that being said then, let's move over because we've got a couple of questions here for you, Dave. So just bear with me a second. Cool. So the first question then, Dave, is you mentioned about different tiers or quality of links. How easy is it to build premium super tier links?
Cool. Well, there's no links are easy to build. It is notoriously challenging and has been since day one. And link building really is one of the toughest disciplines, I think, in digital marketing. So it's not easy, but when working in the standard tier with not lower quality sites, but interim sites, they're typically quite grateful for content and good quality content to help build up their backlog. So those types of sites like working with us at Receptional because they know that we deliver good quality content, and that's usually enough. We can do article placements as long as the quality's there. So that kind of direct approach works with that standard tier typically. But as we move towards premium tier, we need to be thinking about an editorial approach, a content marketing approach. Now, we have a range of content marketing services at Receptional, and we based our premium link building on those content marketing services. We do a load of research into what customers are looking for using keyword research to pick up on topics that are of the most interest. We then develop creative assets like infographics, surveys, crowdsourced content around those themes, and enables us to go to premium sites with creative assets that we know that their audience will love, and the data to back up the fact that there's a demand for this information. So it's a real kind of content marketing premium approach, and that's resulted in us getting links from the likes of Reader's Digest recently, which we're very proud of. And then for the super tier, well, that's a kind of more of a traditional PR approach. So we can work in that way at Receptional, but we love collaborating with actual PR agencies as well, where we can leverage our expertise and their networks to get the most for our clients. But that's the super tier. It really is a traditional PR approach leveraged for SEO.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Dave. And then the next question I have is, do you disavow everything in the lower tier? I don't think I would have any links left. Are they all harmful?
No, it's the answer. We don't need to disavow everything in the lower tier. We just need to investigate it. There's loads of lower tier links that are perfectly acceptable and valuable, and actually directories that would sometimes appear in that tier as well. They're not doing any harm for sure. They can actually add value. Sometimes the relevance of a site can kind of tip the balance of quality as well. What we're looking for is sites that we know to be harmful, that are potentially going to be holding you back or resulting in a penalty. You can have a link from a relatively good and new and up and coming site where the authority will grow over time, but right now the authority is still in that lower band. Nothing wrong with that link. It's still a good site. It's going to grow over time. Now what we're looking for is that list of like blogging networks, automated sites, any sites for links for adult sites, etc. The stuff that's questionable and irrelevant to you. So no, you don't have to worry about disavowing 50% of your backlinks at all. They just need to be looked at.
Perfect, thank you very much, Dave. I think that's covered off the questions that we have. If anyone thinks of any more questions that they want to reach out to us with after, then please feel free. We will of course be sending out a copy of the slides after the session, and again, apologies for the technical difficulties that we had at the start. So with that being said then, thank you very much everybody who's joined us today. Have a good rest of the day, and hopefully you can get out and enjoy some of that sunny weather. So take care everybody, thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Thanks, bye-bye.